Okay, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Okay, I'm on Instagram now. Hi, everybody on Instagram. If I look
Is
over
it
here, I'm looking at
Instagram?
the
Hi.
Instagram feed.
Me
And
too, if
hi,
I'm looking
everybody
right.
here. Okay, that's for you. Okay, that way.
Yes.
Great. And over here, of course, we're streaming on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, all over the place. And also, by the way, there are many listeners that listen to this as a podcast on all your favorite podcasting platforms afterwards. So, hello to all of you. Today, we are talking on an important date because it's October the 7th, 2025, which marks 2 years after the horrific murders, massacre, and attack against Israel, which was one of the it pretty much is the most tragic day for Israel since the Holocaust, and so it means as a period. It's Israel's 9/11. It's really a tragic time, and since then there's been a war, an all-out crazy war that's been blasting in full steam, and obviously the situation in the Middle East is not getting better, despite the fact that there's a supposed peace plan in place, which we'll talk about as well, and what does it really mean. But the whole world in general is going against each other. So the question is, first of all, we're going to break it down, but the overall question where we're going in this conversation is what's really going on in Israel, in the Middle East, in Gaza? Who are the real enemies here? Is it really what we see on the media? Is it what we think? That's where we're going,
Yeah.
and it's a good time to reflect on that after 2 years of a really changed uh, and horrific direction for the Middle East. And I think that where we need to start is with understanding the Middle East a little bit better,
Yes.
starting with the basics, meaning what is Gaza? What is Israel exactly? Where is Israel? What is Palestine, and what's it defined as? Like a little bit of an understanding of what's going on in the region.
Okay, good. So let's start with what is Palestine, because many people using the term, but I don't think that many people really understand what is Palestine.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
So Palestine is actually the name of the mandate that the British got over a specific area which started in the sea, which is the Mediterranean, up to where Iraq is today.
Hmm.
So it's a massive, massive area. That's Palestine.
Okay,
And Palestine survived more less than 30 years, something like 25 years. That
okay.
was the time of Palestine. And anyone that lived in that area before all the divisions between countries were Palestinians. So there were
Hmm.
Palestinian Jews, there were Palestinians, Arabs, there were Palestinians, anyone that lived there actually
Hmm.
held, for these 25 years, held a Palestinian passport, and it was an area. It was never a nation. There was never a nation that named Palestine.
Okay, and what time period was that, more or less?
This is more or less up to 48. So from 20 years back,
20.
2023
Yeah.
to 1923 to 1948. That
Okay.
was the mandate time. This is where the British controlled that area, and this area was divided by the United Nations to different countries over time.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Yes.
at the time of the division, so the first thing to understand that there was never a Palestine uh, a country or a specific people of Palestine, like a specific nation, Palestinians.
Okay.
Okay,
So just for a
it's
moment, somebody that might listen to that would say, "Wait, but you just said there was a region with a specific area. They had passports. Isn't that a
that's correct.
nation?"
It was not a nation; it was an area controlled by the British Mandate. And the
Hmm.
British men that controlled that area, there was a guy, there was a military control of the area, and they issued a passport for people that live there. but there
Okay.
was no Palestinian people that all of a sudden came up from nowhere because they were there Jewish and Arabs and Muslim and Christians and all kind of people. So
Yeah.
and it's very easy to just to look without all the noise of who is right and who is wrong. Just go 50 years back and ask who was the president of Palestine, and there was never a president of Palestine. What is the language? What is the history? Just go 25 years back of from 1925, let's say, and you'll see there's nothing. Okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
so so the Palestinians, the people that of Palestinians are Arabs, and the Arabs are divided to different kind of countries based on wars and agreements, etc. And all the Palestinians of today in the Gaza Strip are actually people that used to be up to 67 under the control of Egypt. So there were
Okay.
so
Uh-huh.
let me draw the map how it looks. So if this is the
Oh,
red the
just a
let me
moment. I'm still on the screen, so therefore it's
yeah,
not
it's okay.
showing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's showing where I was. Can you see
Yeah,
where I
okay.
was?
Yeah, yeah, it
So
just
you see
blocks
that?
off. Yeah, that's the line. That's the edge.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
Good.
so basically, what we had there was this is the or not what we had. What we have is this. This is the sea. Okay, this is the Sea of Galileo. This is the Dead Sea, and here is the Red Sea. Okay, this is
Yes. Sorry to
the
interrupt you. Just one more thing.
it's
The
opposite
mirrored.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's mirrored.
let me see if I can mirror it. I can change this thing to under the video. It says mirror camera. Here we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. There we go. Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so far so good. So this is the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Egypt.
Mhm.
This is Sinai Desert. Okay,
Yeah.
here you've got Lebanon, Syria. Here you've got all of this area more or less is Jordan. And later on, you've got Iraq and so on. Okay,
Yeah.
Gaza Strip is here. This is
Mhm.
Gaza Strip. It's a very, very tiny area. It used to be before 1967, before the Six Day War, it used to be controlled by Egypt. It was part of Egypt.
Mhm.
In 1967, Egypt opened a war on Israel, and Israel took all of this area, including all the Sinai Desert, huge, huge area. Israel won and took all this area.
Mhm.
Um, while at one point Israel made peace with Egypt and gave back all the Sinai Desert, but
Mhm.
Egypt didn't want to take Gaza. They didn't want
Okay.
it.
How come?
Israel, because no one wanted that problem.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
will explain the problem of this area. I will explain
Okay.
the problem of this area very, very. I will explain the problem of the area of not only Gaza, but the general area of countries that don't make it. Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Yes, yes, yes.
So this is Israel is a very, very, very small country. So you'll see that all around here is Israeli uh, cities and like citizens. And here we have peace with Egypt. We have peace with Jordan. Okay.
Mhm.
We are Lebanon was a problem. Syria was not a problem because Syria was uh, immersed in many years, I don't know, 10, 15 years of civil war. So really the only problem Israel had is with the Palestinian, what they call themselves the Palestinians.
Yeah.
And they had the problem with Lebanon. Now the Palestinian, there's another area with Judea and Samaria, which is here, which has also Palestinians. that used to be part of Jordan. Jordan doesn't want them. Actually, the Palestinian, the head of the Palestinian, used to sit in Jordan, Yasser Arafat and his friends, and they attacked the king of Jordan. They tried to create a coup. And so they exiled them to Lebanon. So
They
Jordan
exiled
doesn't want
Yasser Arafat and his
Yasser
friends.
Arafat and his
Okay,
friends,
got
yes.
it. To Lebanon.
So
Okay.
Jordan doesn't want the Palestinians here. Egypt doesn't want the Palestinians here.
Okay.
And the Palestinians here said, okay, you know what? We are a nation. Yasser Arafat invented that and said, no, 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 we are a nation. And you took our land.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. When
Yeah.
people say, so when people before at mandate time, the whole area from here, all of this area up to Iraq, all of this area used to be called Palestine. Huge
Mm-hmm.
area. Today, these guys that call themselves Palestinians are actually saying that Palestine is from the river, and they're talking about this river, the Jordan River,
Mm-hmm.
to the sea. Which, in other words, what they say is, look, Jewish people don't have rights to this land.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
ours. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, without arguing about the history, but you don't need to be so advanced in terms of intelligence, open the Quran and you will see that Palestine was not mentioned once and Israel was mentioned, I think, 37 times or 57 times or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at archaeological finding and you'll see that there's a lot of Jewish heritage in this area. And if you believe in the Bible, open the Bible and you see, and practically there was always presence of Jewish people in this area. And through wars, Jewish people has been exiled from here a few times, many
Yeah.
times over the years. So
Yeah.
when we talk about
Yeah.
from the
Mm-hmm.
river to the sea, we're talking about basically eliminating Israel. It's just
Mm-hmm.
coming to the US and saying, hey, from Mexico to Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly the same, yes.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want you there, yes. So this is, if you really understand, you're talking about genocide.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
genocide, yes. Because you want to, and they want the purpose of the Hamas, the purpose of the PLO. By the way, there is a kind of a peace agreement with the PLO, not with the Hamas. It's the predecessor of the Hamas was the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization,
Yeah.
and they had in their charter that their purpose is to wipe Israel, and
Mm-hmm.
they changed the mind. And the same thing in the charter of the Hamas. The purpose is to wipe Israel. It's very, very open. They don't even hide it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
written.
their
Yeah.
purpose,
100%.
yes. So their purpose is genocide. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is the first thing. Now, what is Israel? Israel is composed of about today something like 8 million people,
Mm-hmm.
6 million Jews, and 8 million Arabs. And this thing
2 million.
about,
2 million
and
Arabs.
two
Yeah.
million Arabs, yes, 6 million Jews and 2 million Arabs. And I'm talking about all these people living within this area of Israel, yes? All
Yeah. Now,
this area.
just let's define the size of that for a second, and let's go for a second and define what is the size of Gaza, more or less, top to bottom.
The size of Gaza, more or less top to bottom, I'm estimating probably 60 kilometers or something like that. And it's the width is maybe about 15 kilometers, something like that.
Yeah, I can check it out quickly.
Yeah, you can check it
But
out. But it's very
yeah,
small. It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
tiny
Gaza
place
Strip
with
is 41 kilometers
40.
long,
Okay, so 40
which is
by
25
50.
miles long, from 6 to 12 wide, which is 3.5 to 7.5 miles wide. So it's a tiny strip.
Tiny area. It's tiny area. Tiny, tiny
Yeah,
area.
and Israel in terms of, I mean, Israel. I know you
Length,
can.
the length is about 1,000 kilometers, and the width at the wide area is about 40 kilometer,
Yeah, I know you can drive top to bottom of Israel, the
like in a
entirety
few
of Israel,
hours.
in like 6 hours or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's just in terms of the size.
Yeah, it's
So
very, very tiny place. One
okay,
Jewish nation, and the Arab nations, I think there are about 50 or 58. Okay.
okay, okay. So we understand Palestine and what it was, Gaza, Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. And now
It's
in 1948, what happened? The British mandate finished, okay, and it looks something like that. Sea of Galileo, Dead Sea, and the Red Sea here. And there was some kind of a partition plan where Jewish people got some of the land, Arab people got some of the land, and Gaza was not even an issue because it was part of um, Egypt. It was not part of the partition,
oh wow.
and and Judea and Samaria was not even an issue because it was part of Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
there was in 1940s there was a division plan. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
the Arabs rejected it. There was no Palestinian at that time. You have to understand the Arabs rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Arabs countries around attacked Israel, the new country that formed. Seven nations attacked Israel in 1948, and Israel won. It
Mm-hmm.
was a
Yeah.
war that we did not open.
Yeah.
They opened,
Mm-hmm.
and Israel won.
Yeah.
What happened if the U.S. opened war on the Indians in the U.S. and the American won? What happened? They
That's
got
it.
that's it,
Yeah.
end of
Or
matter.
if you look at the U.S. Opened war against Britain and got its independence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the end of the cycle. Yes,
Yeah.
but of course, Jewish people don't have the same rights as abnormal people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
Jewish people don't have the same rights. So it was not okay, and and there was all kind of negotiation. And Israel said, always not a problem. We'll give you back your areas, your land, in return for peace, because we want peace.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, no, 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 no. And in 52, the opening war again, Israel won again, took part of Sinai. And Truman, I think at that time, pushed Israel, and Israel withdrew with the understanding that there will be peace. There was no peace. And in 73, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, open war on Israel. Israel won. Again, surprised Israel. It looks like Israel lost in the beginning. Israel won, took all the Sinai desert, went on to getting very close to Cairo, made an agreement, stopped the war, and then later on made an agreement and gave back all the Sinai desert and everything back to Egypt in return for peace.
Mm-hmm.
So Israel always said, "Look, we're willing to give you peace."
Yeah.
In 2000, and I think it was 2008 or 2005 or something like that. I don't remember the year exactly. Israel, up to that time, up to let's say 2005, I don't remember the time exactly. Israel was had the settlements within Gaza. Gaza was controlled by the army. It was an army-controlled area. In
Mm-hmm.
2005, Israel unilaterally, one-sided, withdrew from Gaza because they say, you know what, Gaza, uh, you said that you want a country, take a country. We're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want
Yeah.
anything from you. You don't want anything from us. We'll give you everything. They left their agriculture. They left everything. Israel left everything and said, build a country.
Mm-hmm.
Not only they said build a country, they organize finance. So Israel was financing, Israel giving water, Israel giving electricity, cell phones, Israel giving for free all the services, helping the Palestinian to build a country.
Yeah.
And instead of building a country, they build they destroy the people, keep the people extremely poor. And in 2 years ago, in October 7, they opened a surprise attack, and they attacked all the areas here around, all the places around here, and they tried to get into Israel, like really deep into Israel, and attack Israel.
Yeah.
Israel at that moment, up to that time, about 70% of Israelis were with the opinion, they were very left country, with the opinion of we want peace, almost at any price. And they've tried that Oslo Accord, and Israel tried many, many times to make peace. Clinton and Barack and Yasser Arafat signed the peace agreement with the Palestinians would get everything basically that they want, 97% of all the land they wanted, plus replacement land on the 3%, plus having Jerusalem as a joint capital, plus everything they wanted basically. And Yasser Arafat reneged on the deal.
Mm.
And when they asked him, why? You got everything you wanted. He said, it's not what I want.
Mm.
He doesn't want a country. They don't
Mm.
want a country. So after 7
So,
of October,
yeah.
the viewpoint in Israel, the majority of the Israelis, after one day, you get someone from Mexico coming to the US and killing 30,000 people and kidnapping 5,000 people. What will happen in the US?
Oh, it will be, as we know, it would be a world war beyond world war. It would be the
No, there won't
most,
be world war. Mexico will become a desert.
yeah.
Will someone will say it's too much? Don't
No,
hurt me. It's painful.
no.
No one. Yes. So
So,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So in October 7, the viewpoint of Israel, of Israeli changed from we want peace to no more again, never again. No,
Hmm.
we don't believe them. We don't think they want a peace. We don't believe that someone that attack like that and then hide behind children um, should get a second chance. No more second chance. No more.
Yeah.
We gave you enough.
Hmm.
And the stupidity of the world is that somehow people think that it is okay.
That
You understand?
what's okay? What happened on October 7th?
Yeah, that what's happening in October 7 is justified, or that it's okay that Israel need to fight a terrorist organization with that hide behind children.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
when children get hurt, they say, no, no, it's you that killing them. Yes, true. But there is no army in the world that before they killing anyone or before they're going in, they're saying, look, we are coming in, go out.
Yeah.
That's what Israel doing. But the Hamas, if people try to leave, they shoot their own people.
Yeah. Yeah. Fact. So, couple things. Just I want to ask a few questions before we jump into a little bit more of the behind the curtain elements. First of all, I'll just say a quick few hellos. We have Lorna here, Regan, Margaret, Anne Hoffman, and then Rudolph said, yeah, after 9/11, nobody stopped the USA going to Afghanistan, Iraq. Exactly, Europe and UK assisted. Yeah, 100%. And then Luke here is saying, this is on Instagram. What about the 700,000 people Israelis forcibly removed from their homes?
Which homes?
So I'm not sure exactly, Luke, you can add
Which
more, but
homes? Yes.
I'm guessing that he's
Israel,
referring to
Israel,
a time.
the Palestinian. Yes, Israel removed from the north of Gaza of the Gaza Strip to the south the civilians because in between those civilians were those terrorists, 25,000 terrorists that Israel killed, and all
Mhm.
the terror tunnels. Imagine that you have terror tunnels that go from.
Now, by the way,
Imagine the
anybody on Instagram is not going to be able to
the drawing.
see the drawings on here. You can go to YouTube to see, but just so you know, there is a drawing. But what Luke is talking about is not Gaza. He said in
Ah,
1948, I guess when
yeah.
Israel took over, there was
When Israel took
people.
over,
Yeah.
there was a war, and in a war, those people that attack us, we pushed away. Of course. What happened in Germany? What happened in any war? If you attack me and you don't want the settlement, the UN says, look. He referred to what the Arabs call the Nakba. He what happened is that
Hmm.
there's a settlement. The UN said this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to divide the area. And seven countries, 250 million people, open a war on 600,000, and the 600,000 win. And during the war, of course, you take areas. You don't say, "Oh, no, 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 we leave you here.
Hmm.
You are friendly." They are not friendly. You're shooting at us. So of course, yes, we move a lot
Hmm.
of people. We you come to you want to kill me, I will kill you first and move you and push you away. But it's
Hmm.
so
But so, but people will say, but those were 700,000 innocent
no, no,
families
no,
that were
no, no,
moved,
no.
and
It's
now
not. It's
that's
not. So
that's.
it's if you can say it in you will say, okay, fine. So let's say that we have Jewish people that been attacked and many got killed. Yes, there was about from six
Hmm.
hundred thousand people, about 80,000 people got killed on the Israeli side. Citizens,
Hmm.
not army. What about them?
Hmm.
It's the war. It's the price of war. If you start a war, be ready to lose. And if you lose, you usually lose life and places. Now, those people that was
Hmm.
pushed out got a chance to stay. They didn't push out, they left because the Arabs that stay, which is 25% of all the citizens in Israel are Arab, living in Israel. And if you
Yeah.
pay them, they will not go to any Arab country. Do you know why?
Hmm. Why?
Because the life that they have in Israel is democracy. Why do you
Hmm.
think no Arab country, not one Arab country, is willing to get one Palestinian?
Hmm. Yeah, so that is a good question, but because that's what you touched upon is why do people not want? Why do other Arab countries not want the Gaza Strip or to help those people?
So
What's
two
the
things.
problem
Number
there?
one, you need for before I answer that, just about the
Uh,
removal of people in
yeah.
war. If you open a war, you need to be ready to lose. If the Jewish
Hmm.
people were pushed out, the Jewish people were pushed out from Israel. They used to be there. They were pushed out, and they pushed out. End of cycle. And those people, by the way, that was
Yeah.
pushed out, took the land from Israel. If we're going back even further back, so
Yeah. So then Luke is saying the British promised the land to the Palestinians when they promised to help fight the Ottoman
no,
Empire. I
yeah,
don't know about the history
the
there,
history
but
is
yeah.
very clear. The British promise specific areas, and they promise also the Jewish people because the Jewish people also help. And the vision
Hmm.
after the mandate, without all the story, is very specific. There is a division plan of the UN that was approved by majority of the countries in the world, and that's
Hmm.
now someone can come and say no, but they promise. That's what you think, but they promised to the Jewish people before that, and it was belonged to the Jewish people.
Hmm.
So the British were 25 years here, and God promised it to the Jewish people before. And before that, Israel was there for 3,000 people. Jewish people was there for 3,000 years. So who is the British to come and
Hmm.
say to the Jewish people that you are not there? And you can go back and back and back, and you will come back to this is the promised land of the Jewish people. And the Jewish people were
Hmm.
removed from there. So if you go and you say, no, 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 well,
Yeah.
it's convenient for me to go only 25 years back. Yes. What happened
Hmm.
before?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in any case, for
Yeah.
me, what I look at, this is the isness. The isness is you lost the war. So what do you want now?
Yeah, I think that there's these days in the last 25 years, or maybe I would say even about the last 25 years or so, there's been an interesting change in people that are somewhere around my age, and I think that there's been a couple of things. I think number one, it's the first time that war is shown on social media through a very skewed lens of social media. So first of all, people are seeing wars, which have been going on for thousands of years on social media, and it's hard to see. People heard of, oh, there was big wars in World War II, and my grandpa served in that war, and it was like, oh, my grandpa served, but what that your grandpa went through crazy shit that you're not really aware of because it wasn't on social media. He saw some tough stuff. So wars are really bad, and social media is now showing it, and it's shocking. So on the one hand, you have a social media skew. On the other hand, you have a disconnect of people living a really utopian life that aren't in a war. So when they see wars, um, they're kind of weak around the subject of war. They don't know what a war is. So when they see somebody that's persecuting a war, like Israel's persecuting their war, they're acting out what's allowed to be done in an act of war. People are shocked. My point is, people don't understand what war is and how it operates and why there's rules of war and how it's been for hundreds of years and what happened. Let's just go to the United States versus the Brits and what war was like back then. That's war. That's why wars suck. That's why we don't like war. But this
But
is
the
how it
point I think
goes.
is really simple. We can go back, and the beginning is this land belonged to the Jewish people. If you believe the Bible, or if you just look historically, who was occupying and who was removed from there first. So the Jewish people,
Hmm.
their land has been taken from them, and the Jewish people came back and said, "We don't want all the land up to Iraq, etc., like it's promised in the um, Bible, but we want a country." And all the countries around the world in 48 come and say, "What? You know what? You deserve a country. We give you one tiny country, and you Arabs have
Hmm.
58 countries." And the Arab says, "No, it's
Hmm.
not good." Now, Israel
Hmm.
said many
Yeah.
times, "We're willing to replace with you. Give me one of your countries, and you'll take Israel." Like just as a,
Hmm.
which country is willing to give their country
Yeah.
to do a transfer, a replacement? No one.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
point is like
Yeah.
that. You open a war, if you are not a crying baby, if you actually confront life, you'll understand that if you lose, you lost. You go to Vegas and you lose money. You don't go and cry and you say, "I lost all my money." You lost your money because it's a gamble.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
open a war. You're gambling. You don't know what will happen. You can win and you
Yeah.
can lose.
Yeah.
But if you are
100%.
useless, if you cannot confront evil, you will say, "Oh, blah, 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 blah," and you don't know really what's happening, and you say it's not okay. No, war is
Yeah.
terrible. I've been in one. It's
Yeah.
not nice,
Yeah.
but you cannot cry if you open the war. You open the
Right.
war.
I mean,
I
imagine.
didn't open the war.
Yeah. Imagine World War. Yeah. Yeah. They exactly. World War II played out on
Yeah,
social media. Would.
yeah,
Oh my God. Look how many 10,000 people
yeah.
died, and how could stop
And
it, and
and
it's not
and
okay, and why are you, and they're conquering my land, and they shouldn't be. How can Germany be
yeah,
conquering all this land? And it
yeah.
would have been, people don't understand how
Yeah,
terrible
war is a
wars are.
war. If Germany would won,
Yeah.
do you think that someone will come and say, "No, no, no, Germany, you took my place"? No, Germany won. The Soviet Union
Yeah.
won on different wars, and they took what they took. And then when the
Yeah.
Soviet
And that's
Union
it.
collapsed, then the different countries could say, "Okay, one, we want this, we want that," and there was some kind of an agreement. But Israel said all the time, we want peace. Israel was
Hmm.
built for peace. More than
Yeah.
40%
Yeah.
of all the Israeli songs is around peace. Most of the Palestinian songs is around war. Let's kill the Jews. The education in Israel is
Mm.
around peace. The education in Palestine is around killing the Jews. That's what they get educated. And
Yeah.
it's very open.
100%.
It's they are not hiding it. It's not something that you need to go and discover. Yes. But I
Hmm.
think, but the
Yeah, of course,
question
it's
is
open.
why? Why the Palestinians get all the money and build terror tunnels instead of building their life? Why would they do that?
Hmm. Yeah, why would they do that? And the question also is, why don't other people accept that the people of Gaza? Why is it such a
Okay,
rejected nation? And I think
okay.
they tie
So the
together.
first thing is any country that doesn't do not do well is because their people has been suppressed for a long time, and they cannot have. And the
Okay.
majority
Mhm.
of the Arab nations are suppressed. They don't have democracy.
Mhm.
Hamas is not a
Mhm.
democracy. If you gain Hamas, you get thrown away from a building. There is no proper trial, even. Do you understand?
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is how
Mhm.
Hamas handle things. So when you have gays for
Yeah.
Palestine, it's like
It's like chickens
yeah,
for
chickens for
KFC.
KFC. It's like it's the brain of those people that
Yeah,
do that is
yeah.
brain of chickens. Yes, they don't understand what's going
Yeah,
on.
like that's actually a great example. Israel is like the most accepting of all sexualities, like huge pride parades. It's a massive hub of homosexuality and all kinds of artists and all spectrums of people. If you're gay in Gaza, you're
Yeah,
dead in 30 seconds. That's it. There's no
yeah.
you're dead. Thrown off a building,
How many
dragged to the
people?
streets.
What is Israel contributing from its inception to mankind in terms of Nobel Prize, in terms of innovations, in terms of progress, versus what Hamas? What kind of contribution to mankind Hamas did?
Hmm. Yeah, true. Zero
Yeah,
as far as I know. Yeah, they're
because
just they're it's for sure a terrorist organization. No, I don't think anybody doubts that.
the purpose is
Yeah,
destruction of Israel. And if you don't see that,
yeah.
it doesn't make sense because you get billions of dollars, you get support from all over the world, you are invited to do peace many times, and every time you reject it. Now, the
Mhm,
problem of this war is very simple from the beginning. Israel said from the beginning, put down your weapon, give back the hostages, and there will be no war. But they won the war because the war
mhm,
helped them, because the stupidity of mankind is that they think that if someone hurt you, you are right. But if you're hiding
mm,
behind babies and you're shooting at me, what should I do? What will
yeah,
happen if you
mhm,
are in the US and before October 7, every month in average, there will be 300 rockets thrown at you? Never mind if they
mhm.
hit or not, because Israel
Eh,
developed the Iron Dome. But before the Iron Dome, many Israelis died. Yes, we didn't develop the Iron Dome because there was no problem. Yes. So what will
yeah, of
happen in the
course.
US if
Yeah,
every month you'll have 300 rockets thrown at you?
it's an impossible thought because the US would have flipped
What
over the
happened with
world
Israel?
if that
For
were to happen.
20 years, Israel tolerated that, gave them money, gave them, yeah,
More than
yeah.
20 years, right? I mean,
No,
you
yeah, no, no.
you
I'm talking
you
about
grew
from
up in
Gaza.
that.
From Gaza. The
Oh, from
Palestinians
Gaza
were attacking
specifically.
at the beginning from Lebanon, before from Gaza. Yes,
Okay.
they're doing it for many years.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been doing that from Lebanon. It was before that from Jordan up to after Black September,
Mhm,
where Jordan killed all the Palestinians in the country. I think like 70% of the Palestinians in the country was killed in Jordan after they tried to overthrown the king. 70% of the Palestinians or
mhm.
something like that die or not die, been killed by the army. So the own
By
army, yes,
their own army?
The Jordanian.
Oh, for the coup, okay,
Yes,
because they tried
exactly.
to
No,
revolt.
no one came and
Got it,
said,
yeah.
"Oh, this is
Okay.
bad. This is a genocide."
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Rudolph said that would only happen once, exactly. Now, couple of questions. I mean, I wanna touch on a few things really quickly. Just let's talk really quick on this genocide thing. There was the UN now came out and said
Okay,
it's a
let's
genocide what
define the
Israel's doing, for
genocide.
sure.
Let's define the genocide. I don't care what the UN
Yeah,
said, because the
well,
UN said that there is also corona, and the UN say that Israel. You know that Israel have been reprimanded by the UN. I don't know, like something 50, 60 times per year over the past 30 years, every year. Iran never, Hezbollah never, Lebanon never, Syria
mhm,
never.
hmm, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's so interesting. So,
But there was no, there
but
was
at the
no,
same
there
time,
was
the UN is are the
there was
people
no
that
war 10 years ago, but Israel was still being accused because people don't understand how the UN
uh,
work.
yeah, because to me, I'm like the UN is also the one that gave Israel its land, according to what we're
Yes,
saying,
of
right?
course, the
So,
UN gave Israel the land, and it was through negotiation and agreements. And the same thing here, through negotiation and agreements between who is interested with who, you decide who to reprimand, who is the current enemy.
mm, mm,
But why don't
hmm,
we look at the data?
gotcha.
What will happen if in the US for 3 years, every 1 to 2 weeks, there will be people that coming and exploding themselves in restaurants?
Yeah,
Is that
no,
a
and
liberation movement that killing attacking only civilians? Only civilians. Is that a liberation movement?
no, that's not a liberation movement, not at all. But also, and I also think that a good way to look at it, as I'm thinking about it, is it's almost like, even though this is not a good example, because Native Americans, like the Indians of the U.S., they're actually first, so that's a little bit different than this situation, but it's almost like at the beginning how the US came. They conquered there, they pushed away the Native Americans, which by the way was
Mhm.
horrific. It just wasn't on social media, but it was horrific. And it's like the Native Americans now, if they every other weekend send suicide bombers to attack New York City because it used to be theirs.
It's just the people don't understand what actually how much how tolerative Israel was. When me personally, when I was born in the north of Israel. For years and
Hmm.
years and years, the Palestinians from Lebanon were sending Katyushas, it used rocket at us, 60 Katyushas in average per night. And at that time, there was no Iron Dome,
Hmm.
there was not even shelters. And every 2 3 weeks, uh, units from Lebanon come to Israel and go into a house, just a normal house of people, like an apartment, and kill everyone.
Yeah, it's unimaginable.
But when a person look at that, when you don't see the full picture of what's happened, you can drown by the events that happen. Israel that, Palestinian did that, Israel that, but no one knows what the cause and the effect. And all of it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. What's relevant is what the purpose. The purpose of Israel is peace, as has been proven with Egypt, with Jordan, with the Palestinian. Israel signed the agreement. They reneged on it. Yes,
Hmm.
Israel wants
Hmm.
peace. That is the basic purpose. Why? Because Israel is a democratic nation of Jewish people that like money. So they want to do business. They want to live.
Yeah.
It's really simple. They want to live nicely. Yes.
Yeah.
The Hamas and each person in Gaza, without exception, and I will explain within a second why, want to annihilate Israel. They have a purpose, a religious purpose, to kill Israel, to remove the Jewish people. It's not even against Israel, it's against
Mm.
Jewish people, and then against the West, and then against the Christians. And that's why they always call for that to Israel and that to America, that to the West. This is the purpose.
Hmm.
It's they say that. It's not something that
Yeah.
I say. They say that. They will say
Hmm.
that to Israel, that to America, yes, that to the West. So when the purpose is there, all the action of who is right and who is wrong, etc., is almost irrelevant, because it's just who got hurt
Yeah.
more. You got hurt because you are stupid and weak. Israel was
Yeah.
stupid and weak because they didn't do decisive action at the first time. So stupid and weak.
Right.
Now the same thing with the Palestinians. They didn't do a decisive action at the beginning to say, sorry, white flag, take your the people that we kidnapped, and end of cycle. They want to they
Hmm.
don't care They don't care of how many Palestinians dying. Golda Meir said that there will be
Hmm.
peace when the Arabs would love the children more than they hate the Jews.
Hmm. Yeah,
And if you really
100%.
look at
Yeah,
that
I
without all
that
the nitty gritty, I removed you, you removed me, I was here first, you were here there. The situation is we are both there. We want peace. Do you want peace?
right, and I think that that answers nicely. Somebody here said, "Why are you basing your arguments on 3,000-year-old biblical nonsense?" Which is really that's not the point. Is
No,
not to
I'm
base
not.
it on the
No,
past.
yes,
Let's
I'm
look at what is
saying this is
happening
the
now.
situation.
Yeah, and then
Somehow
the
we got
other,
to here.
yeah, this is what
Somehow
it
we got
is.
into
Yeah,
here.
we're here.
I'm not crying about the whole land is mine up to Iraq. And I'm expecting you not to cry about, oh, there was 67 war and 700,000 people was removed. Yes, because few million people
Yeah,
was removed before that. So
it's
who
like,
cares? This is the easiness. What is the purpose now? The purpose of the
yeah.
Israelis
Hmm.
is peace. The purpose of the Palestinians, the so-called Palestinians, is war. They want to kill the Jewish people. End of cycle. And they're saying that
Yeah, they're
it's not
they're
that I'm
holding.
saying it. They saying it.
No, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They say, and they're hold. The thing is, there's a massive grudge being held. It's like this is what is, much like again in the U.S. What is the U.S. is there. The Native Americans
We
no
won the
longer
war,
run the
end of
area. That is
cycle.
what
They
it
won
is
the
at the
war,
moment.
end of cycle.
That's it.
Nothing to talk about. We're the powerful
Yeah.
one. Now we want peace. Although, despite the fact that we are the powerful one, we wanted it in 48, we wanted it in 52, we wanted it in 67, we wanted it at 73, we wanted it at 82, we wanted it with the Yasser Arafat and Clinton. We wanted it before 7 of October, and we want it now. But you want to build
Hmm.
terror tunnel
Yeah.
and to hide behind children. So what do you want? So then die and be quiet. You cannot cry, attack me and
Yeah.
cry and say, "Oh, look, you hurt me. You punch me, and then when I punch you stronger, you say, but it's hurting." Really?
And that's 1,000%. Byron's asking, how can you be describing Hamas as all
I'll
Palestinian people?
explain.
Yes,
I'll
please
explain.
explain
I'll
how you
explain.
can say, and every
I'll explain.
person
I'll
in
explain for
Gaza.
a few reasons. There's first of all the principle. The principle is when you have a group and something bad happen in the group, is because the group agreed to it. So the average group do not agree for people to go and kill each other. So murders do not happen in the average group, but there are groups of criminal that killing is okay, and so it's happening. So for something to happen, the
Hmm.
group has to agree to it. There could not be an out ethics in a group going on if the group do not agree with that. It can happen once, twice, momentarily. It can happen here and there, but not as a system. So this is the
Hmm.
first thing. This is the principle. This is just the principle. And the second thing is in October
Hmm.
7, Hamas broke into Israel and killed people. But let's say there was 500 or 1,000 Hamas soldiers, but there was about 8,000 Palestinians, just Palestinians that live in the area that came into Israel and kill people, just because they're Jewish people.
Hmm.
So the viewpoint of
Hmm.
the group is that it's okay to kill children, to burn them in microwaves, to cut a pregnant woman stomach physically and call your parents and FaceTime them and show them what you've done, and the parents say, "Well done," because she's Jewish person. And that's actually documented.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I saw the videos from their own
Hmm.
GoPros. Yes. So that's why I
Hmm.
said that the principle is if something bad happening in a place, it is because the place, the group, allow it to happen. Otherwise, it will not be happening. And this is just a principle for life, so that you need to know. If there is a gossip in a company, the group allow that gossip is okay. But if not, the first time that there is gossip, it will be stopped. If a group agree that you go to a group of Jewish people, religious people, and you say, let's do a joint, and you will be kicked out of the group in 2 seconds because it's not acceptable. But you go to a group of
Hmm.
hippies and you say, well, let's take a joint, and everyone will say yes because the group allow it. So when something bad, out ethics happening in a group, it is only because the group allow it. It will not happen otherwise. So no, it doesn't happen that someone just wake up in the morning, take a knife and go to a restaurant and stab people, or take a car and run over people, or put on himself a vest and go and explode himself. There is years of brainwashing that going on in the group that says this is good, this is admirable. You understand? So this is why I say it's each and every Palestinian, because the group agreed to that. It is like the average Israeli up to October 7 thought that it's totally unacceptable to have too many, like a soldier die. So when Israel went to any kind of operation, anything, any retaliation, it was very limited, very limited. Israel did not attack in Lebanon for years. Israel was very, very limited at its reaction because the group did not agree. At 7 October, the group changed the viewpoint and said, I don't care how many people die from my side. They're going to die, end of cycle. That's the viewpoint of the group, you understand? If the group do not agree, it will not happen. That's the basic principle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great answer. Okay, good. So what we've dealt with until now is, yes, a few important principles, and of course, kind of just a bit of a lesson on just history and some facts. Um, Here we go. Byron, really quick. Apartheid was around a long time as a system, and many people in the group did not agree to that. So was every person in South Africa responsible before
Every
1994?
white person that lived in South Africa before that is responsible. Because they agree to that, otherwise they will leave or do something about it. 100%. 100%. Every white person in South Africa is responsible for the apartheid, and they have all kind of justification for, oh, I was just living there, I didn't know. No. You call the black people, you behave to them in a certain way. You did that. You thought that they are less. You didn't like the smell. You didn't like the this. You find many bad. You invented stereotypes about the black people that you created. So every single white person in South Africa is 100% personally responsible for the apartheid. Like every German is personally responsible for the Holocaust. Because otherwise, the group, if the Holocaust, if some kind of a Hitler was waking up in the middle of a democratic USA and say, let's kill all the, I don't know, all the gays. The American would say, no way. They will go to the street. They will not agree. So it will not happen. But the German agreed.
Right.
And they can say I did, and they can say I didn't know exactly, etc. But they agreed. And exactly the same thing, by the way, in Israel. Everything that happened right now, the Israelis 100% responsible and the Palestinians 100% responsible. And who is more right? This is now we need to look who started the war and blah, 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 and to decide who is more right, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with regards to even with Germany, I think that a lot of Germans actually, I know friends of mine that are German that do feel a sense of
Of course,
definite
because it's the group.
responsibility. Yeah, I don't know if they'll come out. I have a lot of German friends. I don't think that they'll come out and say, "Look, it was fully me," but I think that they have a sense of how did our
Yeah,
people
it's
let
not
this
them
happen.
because it's a different
That's a,
generation.
it's
But their parents, if
yeah.
their parents was living in these years, it's them, 100%. How many? Do you know how
Yeah,
many
and
times Jewish people has been exiled and killed in many Arab countries? What we call the pogroms. Do you know how many times over the last?
I didn't understand. Say again. How many
So
times? What?
in the past 100 years, there was things that called pogroms before Israel was established, where let's say Israelis were in Spain or in Portugal, and then Portugal decided to cleanse all the Jewish people from it, and the people in the street will go and burn Jewish people and take their shops and so on and so on. It's called the pogroms. By the way, I have Portuguese
Okay.
um, passport because
Passport.
Portugal acknowledged that my family was attacked and burned and kicked illegally from Portugal. So now they gave me a passport because they said, "Look, you originally been our citizen, and we did it to you." So they gave me a passport. As so, do you know how many times it
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
over the years? Does Israel that the Israeli
Hmm.
go and cry now and say, "No, no, Portugal, this is my place"? No, it's finished. End of cycle. It happened. We've been the weak. Right, wrong, who cares? Am I going to stuck in the past and
Yeah.
cry about it, or create a nation like Israel that contribute to the world?
Yeah.
A startup nation that bring up
Hmm.
almost every piece of technology that you touch in your life comes from Israel. The
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
number of papers written in the academic per capita, the most number
Hmm.
of startups other than the
Yeah.
Silicon Valley per capita. Am I going to cry and
Hmm.
build terror tunnel into Portugal, or am I going to say, whatever, Portugal, we're in peace with you. Let's go.
Yeah, and contribute. It's funny to me a lot of times that people post from their cell phones onto their Instagram stories about boycotting Israel, and they don't realize that they wouldn't be able to do any of that without
It's
Israel.
but,
So you can't. It's
boycotting
impossible. It's
Israel over what? They don't understand the problem.
yeah.
They don't understand
Yeah.
the
Of
breadth
yeah.
of the issue. Because if you just look at the very basic principle, Israel is established, and the establishment document is we want peace. And every action that has been done proven that we want peace. We want peace with for years. Egypt attacked us so many times. Open
Yeah.
wars. We made peace with them. Jordan, the same thing. Lebanon, right now, we said, look, we want peace. You attacked us. You killed our people. We want peace. Of course, dismantle Hezbollah. It's a terrorist organization, but we want peace. Syria, you were our enemy. You attacked us many times, but we want peace.
Hmm. Hmm.
We want peace. Hezbollah didn't want peace and they disappeared. And the Hamas didn't want peace and they will disappear. And if the Palestinian people don't want peace, it's not that we will kill them, they will kill themselves.
Hmm.
Because war don't bring prosperity to the people. It brings prosperity to individuals, but not to
Yeah.
the people. So if they want to end the misery that they live in the last 70, 80 years, they have to want peace.
Yeah, and people think I just want to give one example, and then I really want to zoom out on the conversation for the last few minutes. But people often say, "How, after all this fighting, could there be peace, and how could there be prosperity?" And what I've heard you explain before, and what I see very true. A great example is Japan after World War II. Japan, who was an enemy to the West, and got an atom bomb landing, two atom bombs landing on its head, this killing 100,000 people in a smack, plus years of radioactive destruction, terrible, terrible deformity, like just this terrible attack on Japan. But Japan said, okay, we surrender, and brought about prosperity, a great relationship with the West. It's
Yeah,
now an amazing place. Japan could have fought forever and cried, but they said, okay, we lost. We're
yeah, exactly
sorry.
that.
Let's
End of
let's
cycle.
build.
You lost,
Let's
end of
build.
cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the same thing with Egypt. Don't go
Hmm.
far. Egypt attacked Israel. Egypt was the main enemy of Israel up to 80, up to the 80, whenever we had a peace accord with them. Yes.
Hmm.
Up to the 80s, Egypt was the biggest. They organized all the wars against Israel.
Oh
And
wow,
we have
I didn't
peace
know.
with them for the past 20 years or something, 30 years. I don't remember how many years, like 30 years now
Wow.
of peace.
Mm, amazing.
So Egypt, Syria now, Syria, Israel is wanting peace, not from a weak point, from a strength. The same thing with Lebanon. Every single peace that happened either because there was a common financial or other interest, or from a strength point. When
Hmm.
both sides think that they are strong, there is no peace.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, it's just
By the way,
historical. Like have a look, and you'll see.
Yeah, got you. I thought you cut out on Instagram for a second, but okay, great. So just really quick now, so we've looked at the situation. I'm assuming you have to go in a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just really quick, we wanted to touch upon, we got what's happening microscopically in the area. If we zoom out and actually look at the bigger picture, what's
Everything that
really going on?
everything that happened is very simple. Hamas and Israel seems to be enemies, uh, but they're not.
Okay,
I know it sounds very crazy.
especially after
If
what we just talked about.
Why? Because
Yeah.
Hamas, when I'm talking about Hamas, people think about the organization. I'm talking about the viewpoint of the people, the
Hmm.
Gaza. Gaza is Hamas at the moment because
Okay.
they've been brainwashed by Hamas because these interest groups. Israel is extremely strong. In 12 days, it basically wiped up Iran. In probably less than 2 weeks, it wiped up Hezbollah. So why Hamas is so difficult to beat?
Hmm.
Why?
Well, yeah, why?
Because Israel doesn't want to finish that war.
So why?
Because because Israel and Hamas are hand in hand. The organization, these people that making the reason Hamas was able to attack Israel is because Israel and Hamas have hidden agreements on what's going to happen. So the heads of the countries, which is different than the country, have a total different agenda than what's good for the people. The Israelis want peace.
Hmm.
The people in Gaza want war. The Israelis has been educated for peace for tens of thousands of years. That's what the Bible is all about. And Israel, the Jewish people are the people of the book, and they've been educated, extremely well educated. And the Hamas people, the Arab people, the Palestinian people are an uneducated bunch of people that the Hamas made sure that they're uneducated.
Hmm.
It kept them ignorant. It kept them with a very low level of heaviness. So while those two people have opposing views, these two nations have opposing views, the leaders of the nations are something totally different.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
those leaders are in cahoot. They
okay,
work
and
together.
to that's wild. But to what end?
Ah, so the purpose is obviously money and power, and there are a few reasons why all of this thing happening, and maybe we'll talk about them in the next interview because there is a lot to cover. There is gas pipes, gas reserves, land, uh, and there is the a bigger purpose of making this planet a dangerous place to live. So the stupid people of the planet will agree to more and more limitation in the name of safety or security.
Mm. Mm.
So 9/11 comes and the American in 2.5 seconds gives up all their freedoms. 2.5
Hmm.
seconds.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that will be like once you'll understand really what's happening there, you'll see that there is the one side, which is the people, the viewpoint of the people, the German versus the Jews, the Japanese versus the West. And like we had the Japanese versus the West, we have the Arabs versus the West.
Hmm.
And this is one viewpoint. And this is these people are the Arabs are really believing in the um, religious war, in the jihad, and they are really been educated to have very low ability to have, so they can control it easily. In the West, have a high willingness to have, and the Jewish people are part of the West. The democratic countries are part of the West, And this is the people, the democratic people want generally peace until they get worked out and they say, no more, we're going to war.
Mm-hmm.
And but the Arab has been educated into war, killed the West, burned the flags of America in Iran, in the Beirut, in Gaza. This is the viewpoint. The viewpoint is the West is bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the viewpoint. We need to kill the West. We don't want peace with them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Yeah.
want peace with them. We want to control them. We want to
Mm-hmm.
kill them. Jihad is the that's
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see that the Palestinian Authority pay money for the families of any person that kill Jews. They get paid for the rest of their life.
Mm.
So there is something
Wow.
that called pay to slay. So if you go and you killed someone, depend on how many people you killed, you get paid. The more people you kill, the more you get paid every month.
Wow.
And you know who pay? Do you know who pays for it?
No.
Israel.
Oh my God. In other words, that top level of government that's extremely corrupt. Okay, so
It's
there's a
once you start to see what's happening, the insanities are unbelievable. The insanities are unbelievable.
so that's
So
also why
there's two
people are very
viewpoints. The
upset.
main
Yeah.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
two viewpoints. The main viewpoint is the group. The majority is the group. If the group is stupid, what the group want? The group want war, there will be war. The group want to slay people, there will be slaying people. The group want murdering, there will be. And if the group want peace, there will be peace. And Israel wanted peace up to October 7. After
Mm-hmm.
that, Israel don't want peace. The majority of Israelis don't want peace. They want
Mm-hmm.
to be secure now. They don't believe anymore the Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe the Palestinians. They said, no, 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 no. We gave you everything. For 20 years, we left, one-sided left. We gave you, we paid for you. We did da, 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 da. We took you to our home. We employed you. We did everything. This is what you come and you kill us? No. So now, no more, no more. Like in Syria, like in Jordan, like in Lebanon, we want now to make sure that you cannot do it again. So there will be a massive area of security until the trust will be built. And the trust will be built when the other side, when the Palestinians will get educated not to kill Jews, but to prosper.
Mm-hmm. I see. So what does Israeli people want if not peace?
Ah,
They want what? War right now until
no,
there's
no,
peace?
the Israeli wants a total surrender of the Hamas, return of the hostages, have a specific physical barrier between Israel and Gaza, like
Mm-hmm.
space that no one comes in. Anyone that comes in, it's a killing zone.
Mm-hmm.
No more. We don't trust you anymore. We don't allow you to come to the border.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get re-educated, once you remove all the demilitarize the area totally, no more weapons in Gaza, no weapons. The only weapon will be by international forces. And once you get re-educated, we can trust you and start to remove the security measures. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the moment you have been educated that your purpose is to kill Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Your purpose in
Yeah.
life. This is the education. Open the books and you will see. From
Yeah.
the age of 0, this is what they get educated for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to confront. And if you don't confront it, because it's evil, you think, no,
Mm-hmm.
it cannot be. Yeah, there could be Auschwitz, there could be the SS, could have been, and it has been. And this is what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to support anything, you should support peace. Not Hamas, not Israel, not Palestine, peace.
Yeah.
And if everyone will support peace and they will say, look, we want peace, but if your purpose is to kill Jews, could not be peace. If your
Right.
purpose, before you say, I want peace, I agree that the Jewish people have the rights to live, because Jewish people says that the Palestinians has the right to live.
Yeah.
Before that happened, we are not supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
If the world will come and wake up from its insanity and say, no, we want peace, there will be peace tomorrow,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
group define what happened. But if the group says, oh, there is apartheid in Israel, how there is apartheid in Israel if 25% of the populations are Arabs, and an Arab judge put two Arab prime ministers in jail, prime minister and a president in jail,
Hmm.
if more than 80% of all the pharmacists
Two Arab
are
prime minister? No, two Jewish. You mean
no,
prime?
two Jewish prime ministers.
Yeah,
An
in
Arab
jail.
judge
An
put
Arab. Yeah,
two, yes, put
yeah,
a Jewish prime minister and a president into jail.
yeah,
Arab judge. So
yeah,
if there was a prime minister, if there was an apartheid, how could it happen? They're just stupid. They don't know.
yeah,
They
yeah.
don't know. Do you know that more than 40% of all the doctors in Israel are Arabs?
Hmm. Amazing. Yeah.
So if there is an apartheid, how come? How can it
Right.
be?
Yeah.
You understand? So
Yeah. Yeah. It's
if
really it's.
Israel wanted to do a ethnic cleansing, how come that the population grows every year?
Hmm.
What, Israel is weak?
Yeah, ethnic cleansing in Gaza, you mean? Yeah, but yet their
Yeah, in Gaza,
population
yes,
grows. Yeah,
of course.
yeah, yeah.
Or in Israel, in Gaza or in Israel against the Arabs.
Right. Yeah, I see. No, for sure.
The
I
lie
yeah.
is so big. The lie is so big that it's unbelievable. The lie is big. Israel want peace,
Hmm.
but Israel want to be not again to let us, not another Auschwitz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Amazing. So this was an amazing educational, uh, very powerful, incredible principles. Just an amazing live, an amazing episode. And we should do another one, maybe in a week or two.
Yes.
And I think next week the
Yeah.
topic is around ADD,
Ah,
ADHD, understanding a little bit more about that. That's what's set. But maybe the following week we'll talk about more about behind the curtain
yeah. Like
and
what's
just
actually, who is running the war? Who is making the war? War doesn't just happen.
yeah.
Someone profit from it for it to happen.
Yeah, and that's interesting. That's so today we really talked about the viewpoints of the people
Hmm.
and understanding just the details, but that's the actual puppet masters, and that's what I want to
Yeah.
talk about. It'll be amazing. Okay, so that's in 2 weeks from now. Perfect. I
Okay.
can't wait.
Okay. That's
All
all.
right. Thank you. That was
Mwah.
amazing.
Bye,
Mwah. I love
everyone.
you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye
I love
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank